2026 is about as fast a paced a world as what we've ever lived in. The access to technology is more than what it's ever been before, and the dependence on technology too is more than what it's ever been before. And I think today, in a world that emphasizes going online, social media, online businesses, online income, it's ever more important to slow down and just relax and just kind of go back to normality, go back to nature, as is kind of what I've been kind of doing as of late. Hopefully you can see the plants there in the back, the chilies that I'm growing, and just appreciating humanity and the finer things in life. I've got a couple of ways in which you can do this that we're going to be discussing. But first of all, guys, is it just me that thinks my dependence on my phone or my laptop, technology in general, is way too high as of late? It's a blessing and a curse. The curse side is I'm so addicted to it. I'll be completely honest with you. You're always on my phone, always refreshing my Instagram, always refreshing my YouTube studio, my WhatsApp, and everything else that you can think of that is online. I'm addicted to it. Now the blessing is that it allows me to live this life, the laptop lifestyle that I love, the one that I've always dreamed of having since I was 18. But the curse is it feels like my reality and my day-to-day is stripped away from me, and that I can't actually, I was gonna say I can't control what I'm doing, I can, but it's bloody hard and it's very tricky to do so. And there's a couple of things that you can do in order to just chill, in order to just relax and appreciate the finer things in life, and just appreciate being around in nature. It's sunny now, it's summer now in England. It's the perfect time to just go outside and relax and get off your phone and live a slower life. There's a couple of things that I've been doing as of late in order to do so, because again, that technology dependence for me is far too high. I'm sure you feel the same. The first thing is just appreciating the little bits in life. Now I'll be sat there at a desk and I will just smile to myself consciously. A conscious smile, living in the moment, because so often again our reality is distracted away from ourselves into something else, the latest notification, the next Instagram reel, the next TikTok, whatever it will be that you scroll, YouTube shorts. So often that is our next priority and our next step towards getting the next bit of dopamine. But in reality, you can get a lot of dopamine from just appreciating the moment. It's sunny outside, I'm in a nice house, I'm in a nice room, I have a lovely family and friends around me. Tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to be going to see some friends at a family barbecue, a friend's barbecue. That's worth smiling about, it's worth being happy about. But you don't give yourself time to be happy or even think about it if you're constantly on your laptop or on your phone. And so every moment that you allow yourself to think of something else and be happy by something else, even just the present moment, it could be the fact like, right, I've got a nice bit of cold water here that's bloody lovely in the heat. That makes me happy, and I'm gonna allow myself to enjoy that in the moment by living a slower lifestyle instead of fetching the next bit of dopamine from my laptop or from my phone. It takes little bits like that. Now, the things that I'm gonna discuss are more techniques in being less dependent on technology so you have more time to appreciate moments like that. Because again, if you're chasing the next bit of dopamine, it's tricky to find moments like that because you're constantly on your phone, you're on your laptop, you're constantly working, and then when you're not working, you're scrolling, and when you're not scrolling, you're watching TV, and when you're not watching TV, like terrestrial TV, you're watching the World Cup. So there's some things that you can do that you may have heard of in order to get around that, so that you actually can reset your dopamine. A dopamine detox, they would have called it back in the day in 2021 Hamza times. The first thing, of course, is meditation. I'm sure you've heard about meditation. It was something that I did for at least a full year, every day, 10 minutes in 2021, 2022. And I'm bringing it back into my life now. Here's how I'm gonna reclaim my life. It's by bringing back meditation for at least 10 minutes a day. Just being present in the moment. And it stems back to the initial point of, you know, enjoying the little moments in life. Because I find that I go to the sauna in the gym. Funny enough, I find that because I do it. But I find that when I'm in the sauna, better way of wording it, it's a struggle to sit there for like 10 minutes and just think. And that's quite sad to say. It's a struggle to just sit and have no stimulation and just think in the sauna. And your body always gives up way later than your mind. Your mind gives up first in the sauna context. You think, I want to get out, I'm too hot. But actually your body's fine. And your mind comes up with an excuse. And that's kind of the same thing with dopamine in general. Is your body's completely fine, you don't need to do anything, but your mind is, no, I need to get on the next reel or whatever your vice might be for dopamine. So meditation is an absolute way of bringing back a slower pace of your life a way of just reclaiming your mental land space, if you will. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing that I'm bringing back into my life is reading, because I think reading again is training your brain to doing something for a longer period of time than what it would be with scrolling on your phone. And there's no instant gratification with reading, so much so. There is a tiny bit, but it's a lot lower than what that would be on your phone, on technology, on whatever, again, your vice would be. Bringing back reading into your life, living a slower pace, realizing that you don't need to do everything at 100 miles an hour. And reading is a way that you achieve that very easily, because you sit there and you think, oh, I've read for 45 minutes, and that's okay. And again, I'm a massive pusher of the narrative that sometimes you need to be given permission and give yourself permission to do something that doesn't have an obvious return on investment. Meditation is one of them, reading is another. Some people would sit there and say they've wasted 45 minutes by reading, or whatever. 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever you read for, or whatever you would read for. But you sit there and you smile. Do you know what I did a couple weeks ago? I read a book that I haven't read since school. It was a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. It was Cabin Fever, I think. It was over there, I can't actually see it, but I think it was Cabin Fever, the blue one. I remember reading it when I was probably 10-ish years old in junior school, and it made me smile reading it again. Is it educational? No. Is it entertainment? Yes. But it's a better form of entertainment than just scrolling on my phone for an hour. I read it for a little bit before bed, made me smile, made me remember when I was a kid, and it was nice. And so if you have a book that you could do that too, a book that you could nostalgically read, I would encourage it, because it's a pathway to reading better books and more informative books, non-fiction books that would serve you in a better way. But nonetheless, you're upgrading from completely terrible dopamine in your phone, in your laptop, in your TV, to still dopamine that's entertainment value level, but it's not as bad. And it's just better, and you're going to give yourself more time to think. This whole thing about living a slower life is giving yourself more time to think. That's why I'm intentionally talking slower in this video, because it's congruent with the message. Give yourself more time to think. So aside from reading, aside from meditation, what else can you do? I think growing plants is a great thing you can do. Look at these. These are my chilies that I've been growing. They are, the thingy is under there that says what they are there. I believe they're habanero chilies. So I've got 5 of them going. This one actually needs to be repotted quite soon, because they're getting quite big now. They've grown really big in the past few days. And there's another one just behind it. Same plant, just in its own pot. Grow some plants. Go outside. There's something to be said for just growing plants, watching them grow, watering them daily, just chilling. I don't want to get too philosophical, but there's definitely something to be said in the fact that plants make such little progress on a day-by-day basis, but in the long run, they end up growing something that you're going to end up eating. And it's a very rewarding process. So if you're living go, 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 do something that forces you to slow down. It's like having a pet, but without so much liability on yourself. If you don't water it, it's going to die. You need to take time out of your day to water it. Taking time out of your day to water it is time that you're slowing down. It's time where you're not dependent on technology and social media. So that's another thing that I'd recommend. Journaling too. Journaling being, I think, the 4th one that we've mentioned. Journaling is a great thing that you should introduce into your life. Again, it's something that I did a few years ago. I'm reintroducing it now in order to slow down and be more introspective. I've spoke about it a couple of times lately, journaling, and the power of journaling and why you should be doing so. But if you haven't seen any videos on journaling or me speaking about it in the past, it's a great way, again, of being introspective, digging your head out the sand. You know that the expression of the guy who's got his head in the sand, or the person who's halfway up the mountain who hasn't looked back down and they're only looking at where they've got to come. Journaling is a way of being halfway up the mountain and looking back down. It's a way of getting your head out of the sand and appreciating where you're at the minute. How do you journal in practice? Well, you just write down the thoughts that come to your head. Whatever comes to your head, and eventually something will come. Be it something that's been tugging negatively at your brain for the last however long, or be it something that's an idea that breeds out of giving ideas room to breathe that happens with journaling, but something will come. It doesn't have to be much. It can be 5-10 minutes, it could be 45 minutes, an hour. You could run loose with an idea that you've been nagging at for the last few weeks in your head and be there for a couple hours. You can absolutely do that. And again, it's understanding the micro wins here, because the micro wins are just having a reduced dependency on technology and social media and everything else that's around you. The win isn't that you're able to read for 45 minutes, meditate for 20 minutes, or journal for an hour. The win is that you weren't running for cheap dopamine in the meantime. It's not that you read for 45 minutes, it's that you didn't use your phone for 45 minutes. That is the real win there. And it's training your brain to not do that, to slow down, to live a slower pace of life and be accepting of not constantly moving the needle. Because the truth is, you want to be constantly moving the needle and feeling like you're doing something. That's the whole reason that we have this fast-paced life. It's the whole reason we get bored so quick and we feel guilty for not working. It's because we feel like we need to be doing more. But the truth is, when you're doing that, when you're working and you're absolutely knackered, but you feel guilty for not doing so, you're not actually being productive, but you're guilt tripping yourself into thinking you are being productive. And that's the difference. It's taking breaks when you need to take breaks and slowing down when you need to slow down, versus just lying to yourself, saying, yeah, I worked the 16-hour day, but you didn't. You only worked for 4 hours and the rest of it was just a bunch of crap. That's the power of slowing down and reducing your technology dependency. That's the main 4 things that I'm going to be doing to do so. I will let you know how it goes on. I will say that 2021, 2022, when I was doing so, when I was doing the meditation, gratitude journaling, the introspection, the reading, in hindsight, it's the happiest I've been in my life. In the moment, not so much, but I think happiness is rarely something that's lived in the moment, and oftentimes it's something that's introspectively and respectively viewed in the past versus something that you live in the present. I don't really think happiness is something that you live. I think it's more of a memory. And in my memories, when I was doing those habits and less dependent on technology, that's when I was the happiest. And so that's what I'm going to do again. And if you do the same, if you're considering doing the same, just slowing down, not having to put on a YouTube video to go and make some food, not having to listen to music when you go for a walk to the gym. Just chill, go slow. It's okay. You know, you got plenty of time. You've got enough time that you don't have to rush around all the time, but you don't have enough time to not make the most of the time that you have. It's a very fine line. And so at the moment, just chill, go slow, reclaim your brain and allow it to just sprout the ideas that it wants to. Get them down on paper, go and bury your head in a book instead of a phone, and you'll be in a way better space mentally. That's what I'm going to be doing. I hope you do the same. If you enjoyed that video, then there'll be another one here, I believe, or there. Can't remember what way to subscribe. One's the video. Do go and give that a watch if you enjoyed this one. A like and a subscribe is appreciated. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day.